It's a sign that you want to communicate with us.
Who carries on the Warrens' work today, and what does their legacy mean for the paranormal field?
What are you guys?
Well, we've been called ghost hunters, paranormal researchers.
But we prefer to be known simply as Ed and Lorraine Warren.
Today, we'll also talk about how their legacy is preserved through NESPR and the museum.
This is where everything started. Everything started about our work.
Welcome to the REMPOD, where we research and experience all things mystical.
Okay, hey pipsqueaks, today we're going to be talking about the legacy of the Warrens.
We have a couple of interesting things that we were looking at when it comes to them and their museum and their house and the new events that are happening over there. So we figured, why not do a podcast episode? Why not do something about it?
Yeah, welcome to the REMPOD.
To the REMPOD.
Who were Ed and Lorraine Warren? We all know that Ed was a demonologist and Lorraine was a medium. What are some of your favorite stories that you've heard them be a part of? That we like, most famous ones.
Oh goodness. The one that makes me laugh a little bit, not because I think it's absurd or anything, it's just what they did with it in the movies, is Annabelle itself. Is what they did to the doll in the movies. Because I get it, a Raggedy Ann doll, people aren't going to be as creeped out about that. But the doll that was in the films, of course, it looks super creepy, but it was a Raggedy Ann doll. Like, I had a Raggedy Ann doll as a kid. So that one kind of stuck with me of like, wow, they took some liberties with that. I do think it was interesting, the stories of the people saying that the doll got up and moved around and left notes.
That's crazy. If something ever left me a note, I'd be like, no thanks.
The doll one, I think the reason that one sticks with me is I collect porcelain dolls. I have a ton of them. I loved porcelain dolls. My mom would get me a porcelain doll every Easter as a kid. It was like my favorite thing. There's a few instances with dolls or toys where I was at somebody's house where I was like, I swear they Toy Story that shit. Like, I was like, I swear it just moved. I was staying the night at a friend's house and they had this clown on a trapeze little swing on their ceiling. I don't know if it was hanging from their fan or just hanging from the ceiling, but I was just like, that was weird, but okay. It was a little clown. And I woke up and it was not in the position that it was in before. It was like one leg was like out and it was sitting like this, like its head against the thing, going like that, like arm up and leg out. And then I was like, I'm just tired. I'm just seeing things. I'm just tired. Closed my eyes and went back to sleep. Woke up again. It had moved again. It was now hanging upside down. And I was like, it fell. It just fell. That's all. Woke up the next morning. It was back to how it was. I was like, I don't know. I get it. I'm a child at this point in time. At that point in time, so I'm like, could have just been imagining it. Could have just been a weird dream. I was like in and out. Could be real, but the doll stories always stick with me. So the Annabelle one is definitely my top pick for the cases.
See, you can't even blame it like on the wind or the fan or no, because it went back to how it was.
Yeah. Which one of the Warren cases resonates most with you? Like, which one do you feel is like, I need to know everything about that one?
I always go back to the original Conjuring, because I feel like as the Conjurings go on, maybe they can like change stuff more to make the movies better, just because I had a haunted house growing up in an old creepy house. And then I always go back to like kids. If you're really trying to scare your kids, that's really messed up.
Yeah.
And kids, like, they don't know how to lie about that. Like, how would you lie about the crazy stuff that they said they saw?
And that's one thing, people don't believe kids enough, I think, when it comes to like spooky stuff. They're just like, you're a kid, whatever. You're just, you don't know what you're seeing. Hey man, you never know. Your kid's scared for a reason.
Yeah, River and I said from day one, if our kid is ever like there's a scary guy. I'm gonna be like, where?
Show me. Fight a ghost.
I'm not gonna be like, no, you don't see anything, because then they're just not gonna say it anymore, and I want to know.
The poor Conjuring House has been through so much itself, like that whole estate. I don't know what's going on with it at this point. That's a whole nother fiasco. From the people that owned it the first time around, like before Jacqueline Nunez, like the people that owned it before her did pretty well with it, and then she came in, and then Cody and Satori, and then the psychoticness that is that whole situation of her getting, I think at one point, it was like, I don't know, it was some point, quite a few months ago, she got pulled over for drinking and driving, or being like driving under the influence. And then she like got her license yanked from being able to run it as a commercial property. So that's like a whole other ordeal. And I'm curious with the Warrens, the house being sold to Matt and Elton, if what's going to happen with the Conjuring House, because I know they've made bids for it before.
Yeah, that's true. I actually hope they get control of it.
We were considering going there for a while because they had it like opened up for like small little spots, and we just never got around to it. Timing never worked out, and then everything goes nutso-butso.
I want to go there, just I guess because it's one of my favorites. Just like the classic Conjuring has always been one of my favorites. So I have always wanted to go there.
I know with the Warrens, like for over 50 years, they were considered America's preeminent experts on the subject of spirits and demonology. And from what it says is that I think Ed was sometimes they'll say he was like a self-taught demonologist, because he had the blessings of like the Catholic Church to be a demonologist, but not in the sense of like a normal one. I think it was. I'll have to do a little more research on that one. I'll just read Our Story part on the NESPR website. Authorities repeatedly called upon the Warrens to control some of the most profane outbreaks of diabolical phenomena in the country. The cases the Warrens have worked entail some of the most extreme paranormal activity ever documented. Cases where priests have become possessed, cases where people were physically attacked, and cases where unworldly entities manifest and then preside. Cases where time is violated and the physical environment is completely rearranged. Cases where spirits don't just haunt the house, they visibly tear it apart. Ed and Lorraine Warren have dedicated their lives to this work, and all of their knowledge and experience has been successfully passed on to Tony Spera and the NESPR organization to continue their legacy. Working with the Warrens for the past 30 years and married to their daughter, Judy, Tony carries the legacy forward through NESPR and the most elite team of paranormal experts on the planet. In addition to managing the Warrens Museum of Psychic Research, NESPR continues to be the authority in conducting paranormal investigations.
See, I think they deserve some credit for the cops always calling them for help. I get it that the movies were dramatized.
Oh yeah.
To be scary, but that doesn't make what they actually witnessed any less real.
You can believe it or not believe it. That's your prerogative. But people called them for a reason. People calling them frauds or asking if they even were frauds, or like, what's up with the Warrens? And then people accusing Ed of having an extramarital affair with a woman that lived with them, which, was that true? Was it not? I don't personally know. From what I've read, it's been debunked, and that he did not. There's so much about them that we kind of only partially know. People are going to choose one side or the other most of the time and say, nope, they're definitely fake, and he definitely was a groomer, or no, they're real and they were in love and they try to take care of everybody. There are some people that are in between. I can acknowledge the good and the bad, but you also can't just take every single thing on either side exactly for what you're told.
And also, it's ironic that the people who were bringing up these allegations waited until they weren't here to argue their side, and then it's like, how fair is that?
Mm-hmm. The woman that was allegedly the mistress of Ed Warren waited until he had passed away. to even bring it up. There's one Reddit thread that I came across that's just like a question. It's like, are the Warrens frauds? With the new Conjuring movie coming out, I decided to look into their research and cases, and from what I've seen throughout the articles and documentaries, a lot of people don't believe the Warrens. I'm curious if anyone in the ghost hunting community believes them, or if it has been decided by a vast majority that they are frauds, and that we're only in it for fame. I personally believe in demons and ghosts, but I am also skeptical of the Warrens and other stories, as I haven't witnessed... Hello? My screen just cut out. The person says, I personally believe in demons and ghosts, but I am also skeptical of the Warrens and other stories, as I haven't witnessed anything and I don't have an explanation for. This person says, they were terrible people who exploited people for fame and money. Their methods sucked and didn't really help people. Their cases probably have some truth, but the Warrens only made things worse. That was all they said. There was nothing to back it up, nothing to... Like, someone replied, I agree, especially with the Smurl family in Pennsylvania. The new movie was released and they made it sound like they were there the entire time investigating, but it turned out they had only been there about a day. I'm new to the ghost hunting and paranormal stuff, so I'm getting my information mixed up. Please let me know. At least that person says, please let me know. And that's opposite from like what I've heard in other things. So there's truth to both sides to an extent.
Again, people wouldn't be calling them for help if they were not helping people. That's like, who are you to say that they didn't help anyone? Because like, how do you know?
Yeah, I could sit here and be like, oh, gosh, you know, that Elton guy, he hunts for ghosts, but he doesn't, you know, I'm not there, so it's not real. I didn't watch him, I wasn't there in person, so it's not real. It's just not real at all. It's like, but exactly, you weren't there.
Have you always been fascinated with the Warrens?
When the first Conjuring movie came out, when I went to see it, I didn't know who they were, and I thought it was really cool. I really like scary movies, and it seemed interesting because it said it was like based on a true story, and I was like, wait, what? And so I looked some stuff up on it and started to look up Ed and Lorraine Warren, and then as the movies kept coming out, I kept getting more and more interested in them. And then I think I don't remember which movie had come out, but I was like, oh, you can tour the museum? Oh my gosh. But by that time, I think they had closed the museum. I think it was probably 2019 after Lorraine had passed already, because Ed had passed first and then Lorraine died. So I think they had already closed it. And I was like, oh dang, I'll never get to tour it, I'll never get to go see it. Then started watching paranormal YouTube stuff like years ago and saw people going to the place. I'm like, how are they doing that? Wait, I thought it was closed, because I hadn't kept up on it, and realized that apparently you could have done it if you had enough followers, I guess, or knew the right people.
The other day, she sent me a bunch of screenshots and was like, we can go now and meet Annabelle. But it came with a price.
A very, very hefty price of almost $2,000+ for one night stay. That was a little wild, and you only get to go to the museum section of it for 4 hours. That's it. The rest of the house, you can do whatever. It's basically like an Airbnb, a really pricey, spooky Airbnb. And I was just like, there's no way. They had like 100 nights available to book, and they sold out in one day. And I'm just like, the amount of money they just made.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And then the reason for that amount of money, like why is it that much? I could never afford that if I had less than 8 people. You could have up to 8 people. If it was just me and you, there's no way.
Yeah, so that was crazy. So that brought up today's episode. So we're just going to go over all about how we got from Ed and Lorraine to now who owns the Warren Museum.
HauntedWarrenHouse.com. Free plug for you, Elton. You're welcome. Yeah, I love them, but Yeah, this is just, it was crazy. So they initially had 100 nights available. The first run of nights started with an overnight stay costing $1,999. And that to me was absolutely insane. And so I started looking at what you get when you were to book something like that at that cost. And if you're going to record and do a paranormal investigation, you'd be able to post it, right? At first, you could only post 3 minutes. 3 minutes, that's all you got. That's the only content you were going to be allowed to post.
Which is wild.
Yeah. And so I screenshot it and I sent it to you, and we'll pop it here or something. But so, can I film my overnight stay? Yes, but there are guidelines and restrictions. You're allowed to film your overnight stay and investigation, but content being posted to social media must abide by our guidelines. Understandable. All guests are permitted one piece of content up to 3 minutes long with their overnight stay. All content must be reviewed and approved by our staff, no exceptions. Anyone who posts content from the home without approval will have their content taken down and further escalation of the matter if need be. Okay, little intense. Content beyond 3 minutes will have a filming fee, but they didn't state in this section what the filming fee was. You had to go to a whole different section of the site. And their staff must review and approve the content filmed in the home for factual accuracy and to ensure guidelines have not been broken. And then it says that the filming fees were listed in the must read before booking section, which I did not send you a screenshot of. But maybe a week or two later, they opened up more dates. I did not go to see how much those had cost though, but from what I had heard, it was, I don't know if it was the same price or if it was more expensive. Their wording is a little harsh in that, but they changed it.
Also, this has only been like, what, couple weeks?
Yeah, just a couple weeks. By the way, they're totally sold out again. They opened up more nights and those were gone like immediately. They have a different section now, filming and social media rules and regulations. Filming for personal use and social media is allowed, but please note all content of any length posted to any social media platform must first be reviewed and approved by our team to ensure factual accuracy and respectful intent towards the home, museum, and the Warrens. People that do like debunking YouTubes or skepticism YouTubes where they don't believe in it and they're trying to like prove that it doesn't exist, or if they're doing any kind of criticism of anything to do with the paranormal, they basically would not, from what the way this reads, they wouldn't be able to post anything because they don't believe in it, and it would be, in my guess, considered disrespectful to them and their legacy.
I just don't understand, because like, I get they want to review it and make sure they're not spreading lies about certain things, or
yeah, absolutely.
But also, how do you expect to keep it alive? 3 minutes. Who's doing that?
That's like if you were gonna do short form content, like you were just using it for, I don't know, a slideshow at somebody's wedding. Like, remember when we went to the War Museum? Like, I get it, but I feel like there's this whole subsection of creators that if they were to go to the museum, and I could be wrong, they may absolutely welcome people who don't believe at all and want to debunk it to come in and allow them to post it. I think it depends on what they're considering respectful, and factual accuracy would be like, factual accuracy is just that, factual accuracy. Everything that you have, that you look up on the Warrens, whatever, what is rumored, that goes away. What do we know to be true? That can stay. Are we being respectful to their memory? Perfect. You can still be respectful to someone's memory and someone's house and what they did, and still try and debunk it.
To me, the only reason I feel like it's so short to me is because they have to watch through everything.
And that makes sense too, because if you're in there and you're filming hours and hours of content, then yeah, that's a lot to sit and watch through. Content length and media review fee. We are working to reduce the below fees by training additional team members to be able to do reviews in a more efficient manner. But as of now, they are content length media fee for 3 minutes to 30 minutes. It's $200. 30 minutes to an hour is $300. An hour to 2 hours is $400. 2 hours to 4 hours is $500. For a small channel, if they wanted to do a long form video at this place, for them to recoup that,
It's like they're just wanting the bigger channels to come, but the two people that own it are the biggest channels.
smaller channels to have to pay that much to film a video and then maybe not even be allowed to post it because the content does not get approved. It would suck.
It's like, I get it, but also don't, because like you're limiting, like you said, you're losing out on so many people that could, but apparently they booked it until May, so.
Yeah, it's booked until May, and then at that point, the items in the Warren Museum that are in the basement are no longer going to be at the house because they're working on putting it into a publicly accessible museum-style location so that people can just go see it. Don't know what the cost on that's going to be. I'm curious to find that out whenever they actually do it. Let's get into that part of it, the haunted items, which is why people are wanting to go. Matt and Elton don't own them. They own the house and that whole property. They do not own the items. NESPR still owns the items, and they are not looking to sell them. So Elton and Matt are the current caretakers of the haunted items for the next 5 years, per some kind of lease contract thing that they have with NESPR. That is my guess for why they're charging so much. I would not be surprised at how much it costs to lease those items for 5 years and to be caretakers for 5 years. I'm sure it probably costs quite a bit.
Well, also let's get into the group, because I didn't know who it was. You were reading it to me and I was like, who owns it?
It's Tony Spera and Judy Spera. Judy is the Warrens' daughter. So NESPR itself is New England's Society for Psychic Research. It was founded by Ed and Lorraine Warren in 1952. And though their daughter is not, she stays mostly away from the supernatural and paranormal stuff. She's not super into it like they were. She does help her husband carry on their legacy and take care of their items and protect their stuff.
So that is why we see the prices, and it's easy to just like be like, wow, that's a lot of money. What do they need that much money for?
They are still having to spend quite a bit in order to make this accessible to the general public. Now, if you did have 8 people, it'd be about $250 per person, which is not terrible. And they are allowing you to also use their $25,000 worth of ghost hunting equipment.
Yeah, I forgot about that too, because it's probably like the top of the line stuff for you to just use while you're there. If you guys like the Ed and Lorraine Warren topic, and you want us to do like dedicated videos to specific cases, the real cases, not the movie, we can even like compare the movie to the real story. Let us know which one first down below, because there's a lot, so we could be here for a while.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it's gonna be like a multi-part thing. They've done so much.
So if you guys like this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and check out all of our other paranormal videos. We do investigations, reactions, readings, scary stories, and lots of other things.
If you're ever watching our videos and you hear a spooky sound like a loud crash or a bump in the night, it's probably just my 11-month-old.
He's our manager.
He's telling me it's time to go give him food.
Yeah, he said, come on.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Just put Miranda.exe has stopped working.
That happened last video, too. Because I started to read.
Like, and you're staring at the camera. It's like, is she good?
I start reading and then I'm like, what do I say next? I don't know.
That was beautiful. I think we should end on that.
Bye.
Bye.